Do you guys think Khabib is going to get banned for leaking this news, for ruining the surprise? Because he seemed like a bit of a renegade when he broke the news to the crowd. Khabib was in the tri-state area because this fight happened in Atlantic City, and he did drop the nugget that it appears as though JDM versus Islam is going to be at Madison Square Garden. Who told you that first? Who told you that first?
Khabib Nurmagomedov has just let slip a huge detail about Islam Makhachev's next fight, revealing that the UFC star will challenge Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight title at none other than Madison Square Garden.
I think here in New York. But they promised us. Be quiet, please.
I think the manager's
he's now upset because I give information. But this is his deal with UFC. I don't deal with UFC. This is his problem. But we have deal with them. He's gonna fight in Madison Square Garden, and they say yes.
The Russian's trainer and close childhood friend confirmed that Makhachev will headline a major pay-per-view event at the iconic New York venue later this year, which has many fans buzzing with excitement. This announcement, made casually by Khabib during a recent event, also dropped a possible hint about the date of the showdown. The UFC is expected to hold its usual November pay-per-view at MSG, potentially UFC 322.
And we now have a date for a massive super fight between Islam and JDM. Islam wanted to headline the biggest arena in the world, and now he gets that opportunity. He has a different challenge ahead of him at 170. Outside of Volkanovski fighting him well, our first fight, it's been washout after washout as he goes into this opportunity to try to become a two-weight champ. But for Jack Della Maddalena, this will be an opportunity to elevate himself by fighting one of the best fighters in the world, a guy that has a big name and a massive following.
For those who've been following Makhachev's career closely, this development might come as no surprise. The 33-year-old UFC lightweight champion, who relinquished his title in May, had long hinted at his intentions to challenge for the welterweight belt. His future opponent, Jack Della Maddalena, had claimed the title in May after a dominant win over Belal Muhammad, one of Makhachev's teammates. The move up to welterweight represents a new chapter for Makhachev, one that could either solidify his legacy as the most complete fighter in the sport or expose new vulnerabilities in his game. The setting for this potential clash, Madison Square Garden, only adds to the mystique. The UFC's annual November event at this iconic location has been a staple for years, and it's always a momentous occasion for fans.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He's good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world. It's the best time, you know. I was waiting for Tsarukyan because he have also very good win streak, and like people waiting for this fight. He was pulled out in the last fight, and I don't see some interesting fight in my division. That's why I will make decision to move up, because now they have new champion and a very good fighter, Jack Della Maddalena, and fight make me training every day, make me wake up early morning.
As for Makhachev's preparation, it's already underway. After a brief break following his previous win, the lightweight champion has resumed his training camp, gearing up for the biggest fight of his career. Recently, Makhachev shared a post on Instagram showing him wrapping up a holiday with a horse ride, captioning it, "Finish the vacation with a horse ride. Let's work." It's clear the Russian is now ready to dive into training mode for his welterweight debut. While this new weight class will present its challenges, Makhachev is no stranger to hard work and discipline. Khabib's accidental reveal of Makhachev's next fight also highlights the close-knit team behind the Russian fighter. Both Khabib and Makhachev have had the same manager, Ali Abdelaziz, for years. Despite this, Khabib was quick to shrug off any responsibility for the leak, remarking that it was all Makhachev's deal with the UFC, not his. Regardless of the minor slip-up, the buzz surrounding the fight has only intensified, and fans are eager to see how Makhachev will fare in a new weight class against one of the most dangerous strikers in the sport.
If Belal would have won, Islam would have fought Elliott. That was the plan. He would have fought Elliott.
100%. Like a lot of people saying all this stuff. He would have fought Ilya.
Hunter went over to Dagestan.
2-3 weeks.
And
I sent him to Dagestan.
you sent him 2-3 weeks, 2-3 years, forget?
I said, Islam said, I will not fight Bilal. But, Bilal ended up losing. Islam fighting Mandalena. I truly believe Islam is going to beat him. It's not going to be in Abu Dhabi.
I don't know where
Makhachev is not going to be in Abu Dhabi.
I don't know where the fight's going to take place yet.
I can tell you. It will take a place in the U.S.
Really? Okay.
In a big arena. One of the biggest arenas on the planet.
The decision to vacate his lightweight belt and make a run at welterweight was a bold one. Historically, fighters who move up in weight often face significant challenges adjusting to their new bodies and the increased size of their opponents. Makhachev himself has admitted that bulking up for this division hasn't been as straightforward as he initially thought. Unlike Khabib, who often struggled to make 155 pounds, Makhachev has faced no major difficulties in the past with making weight. However, he's also been vocal about how much tougher it is for him to put on muscle for the 170-pound division.
Why did you decide now was the time to move up to welterweight? I know we've talked about this for a very long time. They offered you the fight at UFC 300 with Leon Edwards. You couldn't do it at that time. Why was now the time to make this?
Because right now it's the best time, I was waiting for Tsarukyan because he have also very good win streak and like people waiting for this fight. He was pulled out in the last fight and I don't see some interesting fight in my division. That's why I will make decision to move up because now they have new champion, a very good fighter, Jack Della Maddalena, and the fight make me training every day, make me wake up early morning.
What makes this fight even more intriguing is Della Maddalena's own skills, which have been on full display over the last few years. The Australian fighter has been on an 18-fight winning streak since a rough start to his career in 2016. His knockout power, striking precision, and overall aggression in the octagon have been on full display in recent fights, including his dominant win over Belal Muhammad, where he captured the welterweight title. In that bout, he showed exceptional takedown defense, which could play a major role in his upcoming fight against Makhachev. For Della Maddalena, the key will be preventing Makhachev from bringing him to the ground.
Islam has the opportunity and ability to become a two-division UFC champion. So many hold Islam in such high regard that when he becomes, or if he becomes champion, he goes back to number pound for pound, which is right where he was to begin with. Jack Della beat Belal Muhammad and still hasn't gotten that rub yet. He needed to beat a guy or fight a guy that elevates you. I don't know if Belal did that for Jack. This will be an opportunity for Jack to elevate himself by fighting one of the best fighters in the world, and a guy that has a big name and a massive following.
Many analysts believe that Della Maddalena's best chance at victory will come from keeping the fight standing. His striking, particularly his ability to pick his shots and control the pace of a fight, could neutralize Makhachev's grappling game. Israel Adesanya, a fighter with a deep understanding of how to manage stand-up exchanges, has said that Maddalena's striking ability could potentially disrupt Makhachev's rhythm. Adesanya noted that if the Australian can keep Makhachev at bay with a disciplined striking game, it would force the Russian to get creative. However, Makhachev's ability to transition into his wrestling at any moment means that Della Maddalena must remain cautious.
A lot about these two people. Della versus Islam. How are we feeling about that?
I think Della is going to get it done. I feel from talking to Tim and also seeing Della, and also I've only sparred Della once, like not really hard crazy, but and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's
even
good
watching him
scrambles.
with Bilal as well and Gilbert Burns. His scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, oh, I'm not standing with this guy, I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well, and he's solid. So I really
Dense,
think,
man, just dense.
dense, yeah. He's gonna knock him out, and I believe him. I honestly believe him, because I just think he's not gonna be able to hand with him on the scrambles, or when he gets back up, he's gonna, like, Della is just so stoic. And he just, like you said, focuses on his own game. And when he does that, I really think he's gonna get him. And I can't wait till that happens, and wherever it is.
Meanwhile, others believe that Della Maddalena's takedown defense will be the most crucial factor in the fight. UFC welterweight contender Ian Gary pointed out that Maddalena's ability to defend against takedowns, coupled with his size, gives him a significant advantage over Makhachev, especially considering that the Russian will be moving up to a higher weight class. If Della Maddalena can prevent Makhachev from implementing his wrestling-heavy game plan, the fight could turn into a striking battle where the Australian holds the upper hand.
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part. Even on the ground, I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
Some experts have even gone as far as to suggest that the fight could play out similarly to the way Dustin Poirier's matchup with Makhachev did. Poirier, who has felt the sting of Makhachev's grappling firsthand, noted that the Russian's takedowns often change the dynamics of a fight. According to Poirier, once Makhachev is able to impose his wrestling style, the fight shifts entirely, and his opponents are forced to fight off their backs. For Della Maddalena to avoid this scenario, he will need to disrupt Makhachev's attempts to close the distance and engage in clinches. If he's able to do that, he can look to leverage his size and striking power, especially in the later rounds.
But if you're worried about takedowns, you know, your shots are different. You're not sitting on everything and standing in front of the guy. You're trying to move and be light on your feet. I think the first 2 rounds will tell us how this fight's going to go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if he wins and Ilya wins, because Ilya's also saying this week he wants to go up to welterweight if he wins this, which, as you said, would stall out the division further. I don't think the other lightweights want that, but I couldn't imagine 5'7" Ilya fighting at 170.
Adding another layer of intrigue is the input from top-tier coaches and fighters who've worked with Makhachev in the past. Craig Jones, the renowned Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach, has worked with several fighters, including Alexander Volkanovski, in preparation for battles against Makhachev. Jones has been instrumental in helping Della Maddalena develop a more refined approach to grappling defense. His work with the Australian gives him a significant edge when it comes to avoiding the kind of dominant ground control Makhachev is known for. If Della Maddalena can keep the fight on his feet, his striking will likely be the determining factor.
How do you think the fight against Islam goes?
I think it's a super difficult fight. Obviously, he's faced Volk twice, so the first one very competitive, and now he's facing a guy that's best scrambling ability, period, in all of MMA. I think that's what Bilal struggled with. So I think the size difference is going to be quite a lot than people think. And we've seen how Volk did on the ground, how much Islam struggled with him. Jack beats Islam, puts Islam in a typical position. Does he now go back down to fight Ilya after he loses?
Meanwhile, some observers like Jorge Masvidal and Gilbert Burns have pointed out that Makhachev's transition to welterweight might present unforeseen challenges. Moving up in weight, especially against a fighter who's naturally bigger, often requires a major adjustment in strategy. For Makhachev, this could mean refining his wrestling game even further, especially when it comes to setups and positioning. Many believe that Della Maddalena's ability to neutralize takedowns early on will be critical, and if he does, Makhachev could find himself in unfamiliar waters.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound for. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I'm leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight, man.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Bilal.
Bilal has the best cardio in MMA, but Bilal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Bilal never stops. A dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. You know, Islam's level of wrestling is above. His stand-up game is improving. I don't think he could go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds go on later and later, he could do.
What did you think about the Islam vacating the belt and going up and immediately getting a shot at the welterweight bout? And what do you think about that? And how different is that fight going to play out than what we saw versus Bilal?
That's going to be a great fight. Islam is working very hard. He's being vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's big. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know. I think he was a little okay. If you're going up, we gotta. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. And yeah, I like him moving up. I proving himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of crack the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're gonna have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think. And JDM has a clear shot on beating Islam, you know?
This clash between Makhachev and Della Maddalena has all the makings of a classic. Will Makhachev's dominant grappling game prove to be too much for the rising welterweight champion? Or will Della Maddalena's striking, combined with his improved takedown defense, be enough to dethrone one of the most skilled pound-for-pound fighters in the world? With Khabib's accidental reveal and the fight slated for Madison Square Garden, the stage is set for one of the most highly anticipated matchups in UFC history. Fans are now counting down the days until the two finally collide in what promises to be a true test of skill, strategy, and heart.